Hi, boys and girls. So we are starting a new unit. It's a nonfiction unit. And what I have for you right here are some examples of what nonfiction books may look like. Usually they have real pictures, as if someone took it with a camera. There's real events. It's based on facts. It can have real animals or real people. And it's going to give you a lot of information. So, as we start our nonfiction unit, we want to know, what is the book mostly about? So these nonfiction books, they have a lot of information. So when you're reading, you want to make sure that when you're done with the page or even the book, you can summarize it in your own words. If you find that you're having a hard time telling others what the book's about, it may be that you have to go back and reread it again. Because there's so much information in these books, we want to make sure that you're reading really closely and carefully. So you want to pay close attention to those pictures and make sure that you read all the words. So the example I'm going to do with you today, it's a book called Soccer from Raz Kids, and it happens to be a leveled H book. So here's the book that I'm going to be reading, and I'm going to make sure that as I'm reading, I'm understanding what I'm reading so that I can share it with someone else. And if I have a hard time doing that, I'm going to have to go back and reread. We never want to come down to the end of a page and say, wait a second, how did I get to the end of the page? What did I just read? We want to make sure we're understanding all of it. So the title is Soccer. It was written by Curtis Thomas. I'm taking a look at the cover. I see two different players, and it looks like they're in the middle of a game because the ball is right up in the air. So let's see what this book's about. Soccer. And this happens to have a focus question. Why is soccer a popular sport around the world? Hopefully the book will teach me why. And some of these nonfiction books do have a glossary. And a glossary is a place where you can find important words that are going to pop up in the book. And they usually have definitions of what those words are. This one just tells me words I should know, so it's listed here. But some of your nonfiction books will tell you in the glossary what they mean, which is always a nice key feature in a nonfiction book. Another thing that you'll see often in a nonfiction book is a table of contents. Okay, and that's really helpful because let's say you're writing a research project or there's just one specific thing you need to know about that topic. You go to the table of contents and it's listed so you know what page to go to for that specific information. So, great fun would be on page 4. Talking about soccer teams would be on page 5. Soccer around the world, page 6. Playing the game, page 8. Fun for everyone, page 15. Oh, and look, the glossary, page 16. So let's say I just want to learn about how to play the game. So I would just go right to page 8 and skip ahead. So let's try that right now. Page 8, playing the game. So it brought me right to that topic. And then I would begin reading. And I would read every word and make sure I understand. A soccer team has 11 players. Players try to get the ball into the other team's net. When they do, they score a goal. Okay, so I understood that there's 11 players. They're trying to get the ball and they're trying to score in the other team's net. Now, if I don't understand that because the picture is not really showing me a net, I'm going to have to go back and reread. Okay? You don't want to keep going ahead without fully understanding what you're reading. So since I'm not really sure what they mean by net, I would have to make sure to go back and either start at the very beginning or maybe browse through the pictures until I find out what a soccer net looks like. Okay, oh, and there it was. Here's a picture of a soccer net. Also, here's a really handy picture of what a soccer field looks like. So that helps me understand better how a game would be placed on a field like this. Okay. So another great feature from a nonfiction book is that those words that I mentioned before, oftentimes they're bold. So they're in darker color so that they stand out and that you can figure out, oh, you know what, I'm not really sure what a goal is. Let me go back to the table of content, find out what page is the glossary. Okay, glossary is page 16. Let me go to page 16. I'm looking at the bottom of the page. Page 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, here's our glossary. So I wasn't sure what a goal was. So I'm going to look for the word goal. There it is. And it says the place where a ball or puck must end up to score points in a game. And look, it even gives you the page where that word can be found. So nonfiction books are really, really great in learning new things. And they could be challenging just because they're giving you a lot of information. But that's why in this unit, we're going to be talking about how while you're reading, you want to summarize it in your own words. That shows you that you know what you're talking about. You've learned something and that you're able to share with others. And also, you want to pay close attention to what you're reading. Take a look at the pictures. If you don't know what you had read, you better go back and reread it, or you might have to get some help by reading the other pages before it. So try that out today. We want you to read a nonfiction book. If you have one at home, great. We want to make sure it's on your level. Sometimes nonfiction books can be challenging. So if you need a nonfiction book on your level, you can go to Raz Kids. This one I had read, it would happen to be a level H. So find a nonfiction book in your level, read it, read a few pages, and we'd love to hear how you summarize it in your own words. Okay?